Beneath the serious exterior of every Capricorn lies a universe of untold truths. What you think you know about this zodiac sign barely scratches the surface of their complex reality. The ambitious mountain goat, climbing steadily, focused intently, never wavering. This image tells only a fraction of the Capricorn story. Welcome to Secret of the Zodiac, where we're about to shatter the crystallized perceptions surrounding the most misunderstood sign of the zodiac. Today's journey will transform how you see Capricorns forever, whether you are one yourself or have important Capricorns in your life. Before we dive deeper, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Your support fuels our cosmic explorations and ensures you'll be first to receive our celestial revelations. The Capricorn paradox begins with their reputation. Known as the steadfast achievers, the responsible adults of the zodiac who always have their lives perfectly orchestrated. Yet beneath this carefully constructed facade exists a soul of profound complexity that few are privileged to witness. Capricorns aren't just climbing mountains, they're navigating intricate inner landscapes that would astonish those who only see their disciplined exterior. Consider for a moment the symbol of Capricorn itself, the sea goat, a mythical creature with the body of a goat and the tail of a fish. This dual nature speaks volumes about the true Capricorn essence. They exist in two realms simultaneously: the practical, tangible world of Earth, where they build their empires, and the emotional, intuitive depths, where their true wisdom resides. Most people only ever witness the goat, missing entirely the flowing, adaptable fish nature that gives Capricorns their remarkable resilience. Saturn's influence as Capricorn's planetary ruler has created a widespread misunderstanding. Yes, Saturn brings discipline and structure, but it also bestows profound patience and the ability to see beyond immediate gratification to long-term fulfillment. This isn't the cold, calculating ambition many attribute to Capricorns. It's visionary thinking paired with the extraordinary endurance to bring dreams into reality. The winter burst of Capricorn carries significant symbolism often overlooked in typical astrological readings. Born during the darkest time of year, when nature appears dormant, Capricorns instinctively understand that profound growth often happens invisibly beneath the surface, away from prying eyes. They know intuitively that apparent stillness can mask powerful transformation, a wisdom they carry throughout their lives. What others perceive as emotional reservation in Capricorns is actually something far more nuanced. Their emotional world runs extraordinarily deep, like ancient underground rivers carving caverns of remarkable beauty. They don't display emotions carelessly because they understand their power. When a Capricorn does share their feelings, it comes from a place of authentic trust and carries weight that deserves reverence. The carefully constructed image of perfect control that many Capricorns project serves a purpose beyond mere appearance. It creates a safe container within which they can explore their vulnerabilities and uncertainties without judgment. The irony is that this very protection often prevents others from seeing the rich inner landscape where Capricorn's most powerful magic resides. Time works differently for Capricorns. While others chase immediate results, Capricorns understand the power of patience and sustained effort. This isn't mere stubbornness, it's a profound recognition that truly meaningful achievements require depth rather than speed. This temporal wisdom explains why many Capricorns seem to age backward, growing more vibrant and alive as years pass, unlike those who burn brightly but quickly in youth. The myths we're about to explore have remained hidden from most Capricorns, creating invisible barriers to their full expression. These aren't casual misconceptions, but deeply embedded patterns that have shaped how Capricorns view themselves and their place in the world. Breaking through these myths requires courage, the willingness to question fundamental beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of becoming. As we prepare to uncover the first set of these hidden myths, consider which aspects of the Capricorn nature resonate most strongly with you. The journey we're embarking on isn't just about intellectual understanding. It's about liberating the extraordinary potential that lies dormant within every Capricorn soul. The first reason: success comes only through traditional paths. This pervasive myth has silently shaped the journey of countless Capricorns, creating an invisible cage around your boundless potential. Society celebrates your methodical approach and disciplined nature, reinforcing the belief that your greatness must emerge through conventional channels. Yet this fundamental misunderstanding overlooks the revolutionary spirit that pulses at the core of Capricorn energy. Consider the mountain goat itself. Your zodiac symbol doesn't follow human-made trails, but instead finds impossible footholds on sheer cliff faces where others see only obstacles. This innate ability to navigate where no clear path exists isn't just a survival skill, it's your birthright as a Capricorn. The most successful Capricorns throughout history weren't those who followed established routes, but those who created entirely new pathways through seemingly impenetrable terrain. Saturn's influence, often misinterpreted as rigid traditionalism, actually bestows you with the remarkable ability to see structural weaknesses in existing systems. Where others blindly follow established procedures, you possess an architect's eye for redesigning frameworks that have outlived their usefulness. Your greatest contributions to the world rarely come from maintaining old structures, but from revolutionizing them in ways that stand the test of time. The universe didn't design Capricorns to walk well-trodden paths. It created you to forge new ones. When you embrace your unconventional thinking, solutions emerge that others couldn't conceive because they remain trapped in old paradigms. Your success formula isn't about perfect adherence to existing rules, but about your capacity to create better ones. The most fulfilled Capricorns recognize that their unique perspective isn't the liability to be hidden, but their greatest offering to a world desperately in need of fresh vision. The second reason: you must always maintain perfect control. Perhaps no myth has extracted a higher price from Capricorn souls than this relentless pursuit of perfect control. The weight of this expectation has crushed spontaneity and limited experiences for too many born under your sign. This illusion of control as strength represents a profound misunderstanding of how true mastery operates. Nature itself reveals the flaw in this thinking. The oak that refuses to bend in the storm ultimately breaks, while the willow that yields survives to grow stronger. Your Capricorn nature doesn't draw power from rigid control, but from the sophisticated balance between structure and flexibility. The moments where growth accelerates most dramatically aren't when you maintain perfect order, but when you summon the courage to release control and step into uncertainty. The cosmic irony is that your greatest achievements rarely emerge from your most controlled states. Instead, they arise from those precious moments when you allow inspiration to move through you unfiltered, when you surrender to the creative current that transcends logical planning. Consider the most extraordinary experiences in your life. They likely occurred not when you maintained perfect control, but when you found the courage to release it. Control is ultimately an illusion, even for disciplined Capricorns. The universe operates according to principles far more complex than human management can encompass. Your sign's deeper wisdom recognizes that true power comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from mastering your internal response to them. This subtle shift from controlling the world to governing yourself represents the difference between perpetual struggle and genuine sovereignty. The moments of surrender that terrify you most often become portals to your greatest expansion. When you release the exhausting grip on controlling outcomes and instead focus on bringing your full presence to each moment, synchronicity replaces struggle. The path forward appears not through forced control, but through aligned action that honors both your intentions and the natural unfolding of life's complex patterns. The third reason: vulnerability equals weakness. This myth runs contrary to the very essence of your Capricorn power. The perception of the stoic, emotionally impenetrable Capricorn has created a prison of isolation for many born under your sign. You've been taught that revealing your inner world diminishes your authority, that others will respect you less if they glimpse the beautiful complexity beneath your composed exterior. Nothing could be further from truth. True strength isn't found in impenetrable armor, but in the courage to be seen in your authentic humanity. The most magnetic Capricorns aren't those who project flawless competence, but those who balance capability with genuine openness. Your vulnerability doesn't detract from your power. It amplifies it by creating connections that superficial perfection never could. Consider how you respond to others who present themselves as flawlessly composed versus those who share their genuine journey, complete with struggles and insights. The former may impress you temporarily, but the latter earn your lasting respect and loyalty. The same principle applies to how others experience you. Your willingness to be authentically seen creates a magnetic field that draws meaningful connections rather than superficial admiration. Capricorns often fear that vulnerability will diminish their authority, yet the opposite occurs. When you lead with authentic transparency, you create psychological safety for others to bring their full selves forward. This environment of genuine exchange generates loyalty and trust that posturing never could. Your greatest influence emerges not from appearing invulnerable, but from demonstrating the courage to be real in a world obsessed with appearances. The earth element of your sign provides a perfect metaphor for this truth. The soil doesn't gain strength from being impenetrable, but from its receptivity, its ability to be penetrated by water, roots, and air. This openness doesn't weaken the earth, but makes it fertile ground for creation. Similarly, your Capricorn nature finds its greatest expression not through impermeability, but through the courage to remain open despite having experienced life's challenges. Vulnerability requires discernment, not indiscriminate exposure. As a Capricorn, you naturally possess the wisdom to recognize appropriate context for sharing different aspects of yourself. This isn't about performative vulnerability designed to manipulate. It's about authentic connection that honors both your boundaries and your capacity for meaningful engagement. The most influential Capricorns understand that strategic vulnerability, thoughtfully offered, creates bonds of extraordinary strength. The facade of invulnerability extracts a tremendous energy cost. Maintaining an impenetrable image requires constant vigilance that drains the very resources needed for genuine achievement. When you release this exhausting performance and allow yourself to be authentically seen, energy previously consumed by appearances becomes available for meaningful creation. This shift doesn't diminish your Capricorn power, it unleashes it in its most potent form. These three myths, the illusion of traditional paths, the burden of perfect control, and the misunderstanding of vulnerability, have collectively created invisible barriers to your full expression as a Capricorn. Breaking free from these limiting beliefs doesn't require rejecting your fundamental nature, but rather embracing its true depth beyond superficial interpretations. The disciplined ambition that defines Capricorn energy remains your foundation, but these myths have prevented you from accessing the full spectrum of your capabilities. As we transition from these first three myths, consider how these hidden limitations may have shaped your own journey. Which of these resonates most deeply with your experience? The recognition itself begins the process of liberation, allowing new possibilities to emerge that honor the true essence of your Capricorn nature. The fourth reason, your worth is measured by your productivity. This insidious myth has perhaps caused more unnecessary suffering for Capricorns than any other. The belief that your value as a human being correlates directly with your output has created an endless treadmill of proving, achieving, and producing that never leads to genuine fulfillment. This productivity addiction isn't your natural state. It's a distortion of your Capricorn essence that has been reinforced by a culture obsessed with measurable outcomes. Saturn's influence has been grossly misinterpreted in this regard. While your planetary ruler does bestow remarkable capacity for focused work, its deeper teaching isn't about relentless production, but about integrity of presence. The quality of your being, not the quantity of your doing, represents Saturn's highest wisdom. This subtle distinction changes everything about how you navigate your life journey. Consider the ancient mountains that share your earth element. Their magnificence isn't derived from what they produce or achieve. They command respect simply through their presence. Similarly, your intrinsic worth as a Capricorn exists completely independent of your accomplishments. This isn't spiritual platitude, but practical reality. The people who truly value you do so for qualities that transcend your resume. The cosmic irony is that Capricorns who recognize their inherent worth beyond productivity often accomplish more meaningful work than those driven by the need to prove their value. When action emerges from fullness rather than lack, it carries an entirely different energy. Work created from the desperate need to establish worth invariably carries that constricted frequency, while work that flows from recognized abundance resonates at a level that attracts aligned opportunities. This myth creates a particularly painful trap for Capricorns during inevitable seasons of limitation. When illness, circumstance, or necessary rest reduces your productive capacity, you may experience existential panic as your identity loses its foundation. These periods, though challenging, offer profound opportunities to discover the unchanging worth that exists beneath the doing. The Capricorns who navigate these transitions with grace are those who've already begun to separate their fundamental value from their achievements. The most fulfilled Capricorns have made peace with a revolutionary truth. Your worth was established at birth and remains unchanged regardless of what you accomplish or fail to accomplish throughout your life. This recognition doesn't diminish your natural drive, but transforms its quality, allowing your ambition to flow from a place of creative abundance rather than insecurity. The difference is immediately palpable, both in the experience of the work and in its ultimate impact. The fifth reason: you must sacrifice joy for achievement. This false dichotomy has haunted Capricorn consciousness for generations. The belief that meaningful accomplishment requires the suspension of pleasure has created unnecessarily austere lives for many born under your sign. This myth suggests that joy and achievement exist on opposite ends of a spectrum, that every moment of pleasure represents time stolen from ambition. Nothing could be further from cosmic truth. Nature itself refutes this belief system. Consider how the most sustainable natural systems integrate purpose with pleasure. Flowering plants accomplish their reproductive mission precisely through beauty that attracts pollinators. Similarly, your Capricorn nature doesn't reach its full potential through joyless striving, but through purposeful action that generates genuine fulfillment in the process, not merely in the outcome. The most innovative and impactful work rarely emerges from grim determination. Neuroscience confirms what ancient wisdom has always taught, that the brain in a state of inspired play accesses creative pathways unavailable to the mind locked in serious effort. Your most brilliant solutions and insights likely haven't arrived during your most disciplined grinding, but in moments when you allowed lightness to permeate your perspective. Saturn's symbolism contains this wisdom in its cosmic design. While often portrayed as the taskmaster of the zodiac, Saturn's rings represent perfect balance, the harmonious orbit that sustains rather than depletes. The highest expression of Saturn's influence in your Capricorn nature isn't relentless effort, but sustainable rhythms that honor both productivity and renewal. This balance doesn't compromise achievement, but optimizes it through strategic integration of joy. The most successful Capricorns have discovered that discipline and delight aren't opposing forces, but complementary energies that potentiate each other. Your capacity for focus becomes exponentially more powerful when infused with genuine enthusiasm. The work ethic that defines your sign reaches its pinnacle not when driven by grim obligation, but when animated by authentic passion for the journey itself, not merely the destination. This realization transforms how you navigate challenges. Difficulties will inevitably arise on any meaningful path, but they need not eliminate enjoyment from the experience. The mature Capricorn develops the sophisticated capacity to hold both, to acknowledge the weight of responsibility while maintaining access to the lightness of being that makes the journey sustainable. This integration represents true mastery rather than compromise. The sixth reason: asking for help undermines your competence. Perhaps no myth has created more unnecessary isolation for Capricorns than this fundamental misunderstanding of true strength. The belief that self-sufficiency equates to worthiness has prevented countless Capricorns from accessing the collaborative resources that would multiply their effectiveness. This distortion of independence represents a particularly costly misinterpretation of your Capricorn essence. The mountain goat, while capable of remarkable solo climbs, doesn't exist in isolation from its environment. It relies on countless relationships within its ecosystem to survive and thrive. Similarly, your Capricorn nature doesn't reach its full expression through isolated achievement, but through strategic integration of complementary strengths. The most effective leaders in any domain understand that orchestrating diverse capacities creates outcomes far beyond what individual effort could accomplish. This myth stems from confusion between vulnerability and incompetence. Requesting assistance doesn't reveal inadequacy, but demonstrates sophisticated self-awareness and strategic thinking. The most respected authorities in any field aren't those who pretend omniscience, but those who confidently acknowledge the boundaries of their expertise and incorporate complementary knowledge. This discernment represents wisdom rather than weakness. Consider how you perceive others who ask for your help. Does their request diminish your respect for them, or does it often create meaningful connection and opportunity to contribute value? The same dynamic applies when you allow others to support your journey. Your willingness to receive creates channels for meaningful exchange that isolation prevents. The relationships formed through mutual support often generate opportunities far beyond the immediate collaboration. Saturn's influence contains this wisdom in its cosmic role. While often viewed as a solitary planet, Saturn's position as the traditional boundary of the visible solar system represents not isolation, but relationship, the defined edge that connects inner and outer worlds. Similarly, your Capricorn nature finds its highest expression not through self-contained independence, but through clearly defined relationships that honor both autonomy and interconnection. The most accomplished Capricorns recognize that effective collaboration actually enhances rather than diminishes their authority. Your natural organizational abilities reach their pinnacle, not when you attempt to control every aspect personally, but when you skillfully orchestrate diverse talents toward shared objectives. This capacity to synthesize complementary strengths represents sophisticated leadership rather than diminished competence. This recognition transforms your approach to both personal and professional challenges. Rather than exhausting yourself through isolated effort, you can assess situations with strategic clarity, determining which aspects align with your core strengths and which would benefit from complementary expertise. This discernment allows you to focus your remarkable Capricorn energy where it creates maximum impact while integrating supportive resources elsewhere. These three myths, the measurement of worth through productivity, the false dichotomy between joy and achievement, and the misinterpretation of help as weakness, have collectively diminished the experience of being Capricorn for too many born under your sign. Breaking free from these limiting beliefs doesn't require abandoning your ambition, but rather refining it to align with deeper cosmic truths about sustainable achievement and authentic fulfillment. As we prepare to explore the next set of myths in our journey, consider how these misunderstandings may have shaped your own experience. The recognition of these patterns creates the possibility for new choices, approaches to your life and work that honor both your natural Capricorn drive and your right to a fulfilling, connected existence that transcends mere accomplishment. The seventh reason: you must constantly prove yourself. This exhausting myth has created an internal treadmill for countless Capricorns, a perpetual cycle of demonstration and validation that never reaches a satisfying conclusion. The belief that your credibility requires continuous evidence has transformed potential joy into perpetual striving for many born under your sign. This misconception fundamentally misinterprets the mature Capricorn energy and its relationship to earned authority. The cosmos designed Capricorn energy to accumulate gravitas naturally over time, like sedimentary layers forming sturdy bedrock. Your authentic power doesn't require constant maintenance through performance, but grows through consistent embodiment of your values. The respect you truly desire and deserve isn't sustained through endless proving, but through the congruence between your words and actions over the long arc of experience. Consider the ancient sequoia trees that share your earth element. These magnificent beings don't wake each morning. needing to justify their presence in the forest. Their substantive nature speaks for itself through unwavering presence. Similarly, your Capricorn essence communicates its value not through desperate demonstration, but through the quiet certainty that accompanies genuine capability. This understated confidence creates magnetic attraction that frantic proving never could. The most respected Capricorns understand a subtle truth, that excessive effort to prove worth often achieves the opposite effect. Those who genuinely recognize your value don't require perpetual evidence, while those who continuously doubt you rarely change their perception, regardless of what you demonstrate. This realization liberates you from the exhausting cycle of performing for validation and allows you to direct your considerable energy toward meaningful contribution instead. Saturn's influence reveals profound wisdom in this regard. While often portrayed as demanding, Saturn actually bestows the capacity for patient self-validation, the ability to measure your progress against internal standards rather than external approval. The highest expression of Saturn's energy isn't anxious striving for recognition, but grounded self-knowledge that remains stable regardless of others' perceptions. This inner certainty becomes your unshakable foundation. This shift from external validation to internal knowing doesn't happen overnight, but develops through intentional practice. Each time you choose self-trust over the need for approval, you strengthen this muscle. Over time, this capacity transforms your relationship with achievement itself, from desperate proving to authentic expression of your natural capabilities. The irony is that this liberation often attracts even greater recognition, though you no longer require it to feel secure in your value. The eighth reason: your seriousness is your defining trait. This persistent myth has created unnecessary one-dimensionality in how Capricorns are perceived, and more damagingly, how they perceive themselves. The belief that your value lies primarily in your gravity has caused many Capricorns to suppress the rich spectrum of their emotional and expressive range. This distortion fundamentally misunderstands the sophisticated complexity that defines true Capricorn energy. The cosmic design of Capricorn contains multitudes beyond mere seriousness. While responsibility forms one facet of your nature, it exists in beautiful balance with a surprising playfulness that emerges when you feel truly secure. This capacity for unexpected lightness doesn't contradict your Capricorn essence but completes it, like the essential counterweight that allows a pendulum's meaningful movement rather than static suspension. Consider how the mountain goat, your zodiac symbol, navigates its terrain, yes, with careful precision, but also with remarkable agility and occasional playful leaps that appear to defy gravity. Similarly, your Capricorn nature reaches its full expression not through unrelenting seriousness, but through the dynamic integration of responsibility and spontaneity. The most magnetic Capricorns embody this beautiful contrast. Solid as earth, yet capable of surprising lightness that captivates those fortunate enough to witness it. This myth proves particularly costly in relationship contexts. When you believe your value lies solely in your reliability and gravitas, you may withhold the delightful aspects of your personality that create genuine connection. The unexpected humor, the playful perspective, the capacity for joy. These qualities don't diminish your Capricorn authority, but humanize it, making your substantial presence not merely respected, but beloved. This fuller expression creates relationships with both depth and buoyancy. Saturn's influence contains this wisdom in its cosmic design. While often depicted as severe, Saturn actually creates the boundaries that make safe play possible. Consider how children thrive with clear limits that provide security for exploration. Similarly, your Capricorn nature establishes the solid ground that makes authentic playfulness possible. This isn't contradiction, but complementary design. Structure creating the foundation for freedom rather than constraining it. The most fulfilled Capricorns have made peace with this paradoxical truth, that their serious commitment to responsibility creates the very foundation that allows genuine lightness to emerge. This integration doesn't require choosing between gravitas and playfulness, but recognizes their interdependence. Your capacity for joy doesn't undermine your authority, but reveals its mature expression. secure enough to embrace the full spectrum of human experience. The 9th reason: you must always plan for the worst. This cautionary approach has been celebrated as Capricorn wisdom, yet its extreme application has robbed many of your sign from experiencing the expansive possibilities that emerge through calibrated optimism. The belief that thoroughness requires anticipating disaster has created unnecessarily contracted lives for many Capricorns. This distortion misunderstands the sophisticated risk intelligence that defines mature Capricorn energy. Preparation doesn't require pessimism. The most effective Capricorns distinguish between prudent contingency planning and the endless contemplation of worst-case scenarios that never materialize. Your natural thoroughness serves you best not when fixated on potential catastrophe, but when applied to creating robust systems that support ambitious vision. This shift from defensive positioning to strategic enablement transforms how you experience your Capricorn pragmatism. Consider how nature itself navigates uncertainty, not through fearful anticipation, but through resilient design that accommodates various conditions. The oak develops deep roots, not from anxious preoccupation with storms, but as part of its integrated strategy for thriving. Similarly, your Capricorn nature reaches its highest expression not through hypervigilance about potential problems, but through balanced assessment that acknowledges both challenges and opportunities in proper proportion. Saturn's influence reveals profound wisdom here. While often associated with limitation, Saturn actually bestows the gift of discernment, the capacity to distinguish between genuine risks that warrant attention and speculative fears that drain energy without providing value. The mature expression of Saturn's energy isn't preoccupation with what might go wrong, but strategic focus on creating conditions for what you want to go right. The most successful Capricorns have discovered that intuitive optimism, not to be confused with naive positivity, actually represents sophisticated pattern recognition rather than wishful thinking. Your natural Capricorn perception likely detects nascent opportunities that others miss entirely. When you trust this intuitive knowing alongside your analytical assessment, you access an integrated intelligence that far exceeds either capacity alone. This balanced approach leads to opportunities beyond what logical planning could conceive. This recalibrated relationship with uncertainty transforms your experience of ambition itself. Rather than approaching new ventures with hypervigilance about potential failure, you can engage with genuine curiosity about emerging possibilities. This open stance doesn't abandon your Capricorn thoroughness, but complements it with receptivity to unexpected developments that often contain your greatest opportunities. This integration represents evolved Capricorn wisdom rather than its abandonment. The practical impact of this shift appears in how you navigate decision points. When liberated from the belief that responsible planning requires anticipating disaster, you gain access to expanded possibilities. Options that would have been eliminated through excessive caution remain available for exploration. This doesn't mean abandoning discernment, but refining it, distinguishing between genuine risks and speculative fears that reflect past conditioning rather than present reality. These three myths, the need for constant proving, the limitation to seriousness, and the equation of preparation with pessimism, have collectively distorted how Capricorns experience their own nature. Breaking free from these misconceptions doesn't require abandoning your fundamental Capricorn qualities, but rather refining them to align with more sophisticated understanding of their mature expression. As we prepare to explore the final set of myths in our journey, consider how these perceptual distortions may have limited your experience. Recognition creates the possibility for integration that honors both the solid foundation of your Capricorn nature and the expansive possibilities that emerge when these qualities find their highest expression. The 10th reason: your emotional depth is a liability. This profound misconception has caused countless Capricorns to develop a complicated relationship with their own emotional landscape. The belief that success requires emotional containment has led many born under your sign to suppress their natural sensitivity, creating an artificial division between their inner and outer worlds. This fragmentation fundamentally misunderstands the sophisticated emotional intelligence that forms an essential component of mature Capricorn energy. The cosmos designed Capricorn with remarkable emotional depth, not as contradiction to your practical nature, but as its necessary complement. Your emotional intelligence doesn't detract from your effectiveness, but exponentially enhances it, providing nuanced understanding that purely logical analysis could never access. The most impactful Capricorns have discovered that their emotional sensitivity serves in a sophisticated instrumentation, offering real-time feedback about complex dynamics that others often miss entirely. Consider the mountain itself, your element's most powerful expression. Beneath its solid exterior lies an intricate network of underground springs and hidden caverns, internal systems as complex as its visible structure. Similarly, your Capricorn nature contains emotional currents of extraordinary sophistication beneath your composed exterior. This internal complexity doesn't represent weakness, but provides the very foundation for your most meaningful contributions. Your capacity to hold space for emotional complexity, both your own and others, represents unacknowledged Capricorn power. Saturn's influence reveals profound wisdom in this domain. While often associated with boundaries and structure, Saturn actually governs the container that allows emotional depth to develop meaningful form rather than dissipating through lack of channel. This containment doesn't equal suppression, but rather creates the conditions for emotional intelligence to mature into wisdom. The highest expression of Saturn's energy isn't emotional restriction, but emotional mastery, the capacity to navigate complex feelings with consciousness rather than being overwhelmed by them. The most effective leaders with strong Capricorn energy have discovered that their emotional sensitivity serves as critical navigational equipment. Your capacity to sense subtle shifts in group dynamics, to recognize unspoken concerns, to anticipate emotional responses to proposed changes, these abilities don't distract from strategic thinking, but inform it at a level that transcends conventional analysis. This integration of emotional intelligence with practical assessment represents sophisticated leadership rather than compromised focus. This recalibrated understanding transforms how you navigate both personal and professional relationships. Rather than approaching emotional dynamics as inconvenient distractions from practical matters, you can recognize them as essential information about what truly matters to the humans involved. This awareness doesn't require abandoning structured approaches, but enhances them with nuanced understanding of the subjective dimensions that ultimately determine whether logical solutions actually succeed in real-world implementation. The practical impact of embracing rather than suppressing your emotional depth appears in virtually every domain of life. Decisions informed by both analytical assessment and emotional intelligence prove more sustainable than those based on logic alone. Communications that acknowledge the emotional dimension create deeper resonance than purely informational exchanges. Leadership that integrates practical direction with emotional attunement inspires greater commitment than approaches that address only cognitive understanding. This integration represents evolved Capricorn wisdom rather than departure from your essential nature. The 11th reason: your need for solitude makes you distant. This misinterpretation has created unnecessary conflict for many Capricorns, both internally and in their relationships. The belief that meaningful connection requires constant availability has led many born under your sign to either sacrifice necessary solitude or feel perpetually inadequate in their relational capacities. This false dichotomy fundamentally misunderstands the sophisticated relational intelligence that defines mature Capricorn energy. The cosmos designed your Capricorn nature with a profound capacity for both meaningful connection and restorative solitude, not as opposing forces but as complementary rhythms that sustain each other. Your need for periodic withdrawal doesn't indicate relational deficiency, but actually enables the depth of presence you bring to your connections. This intentional alternation between engagement and reflection represents sophisticated relationship design rather than social limitation. Consider how the mountain, your element's powerful expression, relates to its surroundings. It maintains clear boundaries while simultaneously creating essential habitat and watershed for countless living systems. Its very distinctness enables its contributions rather than preventing them. Similarly, your Capricorn capacity for defined separateness doesn't diminish your connection to others, but creates the conditions for meaningful engagement. The quality of your presence when genuinely available far exceeds what continuous but diluted availability could offer. Saturn's influence contains profound wisdom about this rhythm. While often viewed as isolating, Saturn actually governs the boundaries that make genuine intimacy possible. Without clear delineation between self and other, authentic connection dissolves into merger that ultimately serves neither party. The highest expression of Saturn's energy isn't separation for its own sake, but the conscious creation of thresholds that honor both individuation and relationship. This discernment enables connections of extraordinary quality precisely because they respect the integrity of all involved. The most fulfilled Capricorns have discovered that their cyclical movement between solitude and connection creates relationships of unusual depth and longevity. Your selective engagement doesn't reduce your impact, but concentrates it, creating interactions of remarkable significance rather than continuous exchanges of limited meaning. This patterned availability represents relational wisdom rather than limitation, the recognition that sustainable connection requires rhythmic renewal rather than constant presence. This understanding transforms how you navigate relationships across all domains. Rather than attempting to override your need for solitude out of concern for how others might perceive it, you can communicate this requirement as essential self-care that ultimately serves your connections. This transparent approach doesn't diminish your relationships but deepens them through authentic expression of your needs. The most important people in your life likely appreciate the quality of your engagement precisely because it emerges from a centered place that periodic solitude helps maintain. The practical impact of honoring rather than resisting this rhythm appears in the sustainability of your relationships. Connections that accommodate your need for periodic withdrawal tend to develop unusual longevity and depth, while those that demand constant engagement often create resentment that ultimately undermines the relationship entirely. This pattern recognition allows you to invest in connections that respect your nature, rather than attempting to force yourself into relational models that contradict your fundamental design. The 12th reason: you must always be the mountain. This final myth perhaps encapsulates all others in its fundamental misunderstanding of Capricorn's sophisticated nature. The belief that your strength lies solely in unwavering solidity has prevented many born under your sign from accessing the remarkable adaptability that complements your stability. This one-dimensional interpretation fails to recognize the dynamic integration that defines mature Capricorn energy. The cosmic design of Capricorn contains both mountain and sea, represented in your symbol of the sea goat, the mythical creature with goat's body and fish's tail. This dual nature isn't contradiction, but completion, the integration of steadfast stability with fluid adaptability. Your greatest power emerges not from rigid consistency, but from the sophisticated capacity to discern when situations require unwavering structure and when they call for responsive flow. This contextual wisdom represents evolved Capricorn intelligence rather than compromise of your essential nature. Consider how water, the element represented in your symbol's tail, demonstrates remarkable strength precisely through its adaptability. Water doesn't oppose obstacles through direct confrontation, but navigates around them, under them, or gradually transforms them through persistent presence. Similarly, your Capricorn nature reaches its highest expression, not through unyielding rigidity, but through strategic flexibility that maintains core direction while adjusting tactical approach based on emergent conditions. This adaptive capacity doesn't weaken your resolve, but optimizes its application. Saturn's influence reveals profound wisdom in this regard. While often associated with structure, Saturn actually governs the principle of appropriate form, the recognition that different contexts require different manifestations of the same essential energy. The highest expression of Saturn's influence isn't rigid adherence to a single approach, but discerning wisdom about which form best serves current conditions. This contextual intelligence allows consistent values to find variable expression, optimized for actual circumstances rather than abstract ideals. The most effective Capricorns have discovered that their stability and adaptability enhance rather than contradict each other. Your capacity for sustained commitment provides the secure foundation that makes flexible response possible, while your adaptability prevents your persistence from becoming counterproductive obstinacy. This dynamic integration allows you to maintain unwavering direction towards your objectives while skillfully adjusting your approach based on changing conditions. This sophisticated both-and capacity represents mastery rather than inconsistency. This recalibrated understanding transforms how you navigate challenges. When obstacles arise, you can assess them with nuanced discernment, determining whether the situation calls for steadfast persistence or creative recalibration. This flexibility doesn't indicate lack of conviction, but rather demonstrates sophisticated commitment to your ultimate objectives beyond attachment to particular methods. The path of water often reaches the destination more efficiently than the direct route when terrain proves challenging. The practical impact of this integration appears in virtually every domain of achievement. Projects guided by both consistent vision and adaptive implementation prove more successful than those rigidly adhering to initial plans despite changing circumstances. Leadership that maintains clear direction while responding intelligently to emergent conditions inspires greater trust than approaches that confuse consistency of method with integrity of purpose. This balanced expression represents the culmination of Capricorn wisdom rather than its compromise. These final three myths, the misconception of emotional depth as liability, the misinterpretation of selective engagement as distance, and the limitation of Capricorn's strength to rigid consistency, have collectively prevented many born under your sign from experiencing the full spectrum of their remarkable design. Breaking free from these constraints doesn't require abandoning your Capricorn foundation, but rather expanding your understanding of what that foundation truly contains. As our exploration of these hidden myths concludes, consider how a recognition of these patterns might transform your experience of being Capricorn. The integration of these complementary aspects doesn't dilute your essential nature, but reveals its full magnificence, the sophisticated both and capacity that defines Capricorn at its most evolved expression. Throughout our exploration of the 12 hidden myths that have silently shaped the Capricorn experience, we've uncovered a profound truth. The conventional understanding of Capricorn energy represents only a fraction of your magnificent design. These limiting beliefs, often celebrated as Capricorn virtues, have actually prevented many born under your sign from accessing the full spectrum of their cosmic inheritance. We began by examining how the myth that success requires traditional paths has constrained your innovative potential, when in fact, your greatest achievements often emerge through unconventional approaches that others couldn't envision. We challenged the exhausting belief that perfect control equals strength, revealing how your most significant growth occurs precisely in those moments of courageous surrender to uncertainty. We dismantled the misconception that vulnerability diminishes your authority, illuminating how your willingness to be authentically seen creates connections of extraordinary depth that superficial competence never could. We continued by confronting the damaging myth that your worth correlates with your productivity, recognizing that your intrinsic value exists completely independent of what you accomplish or produce. We questioned the false dichotomy between achievement and joy, revealing how your most brilliant work emerges when discipline and delight integrate rather than oppose each other. We challenged the isolating belief that requesting support undermines your competence, showing how strategic collaboration actually enhances your effectiveness rather than diminishing it. We proceeded to expose the exhausting myth that respect requires constant proving, recognizing that genuine authority accumulates naturally through consistent embodiment rather than desperate demonstration. We expanded beyond the limitation of seriousness as your defining trait, celebrating the unexpected lightness that makes you not merely respected, but genuinely magnetic. We recalibrated the relationship between preparation and pessimism, revealing how intuitive optimism represents sophisticated pattern recognition rather than naive positivity. Finally, we concluded by honoring the emotional intelligence that conventional interpretations have dismissed as liability, recognizing your sensitivity as sophisticated instrumentation for navigating complex dynamics. We reframed your need for selective engagement as relational wisdom rather than limitation, appreciating how the quality of your presence emerges precisely from your rhythmic renewal through solitude. And we integrated the complementary strengths of stability and adaptability, revealing how your greatest power emerges through the dynamic balance between mountain steadfastness and flowing water. This journey represents more than intellectual understanding. It offers nothing less than liberation from constraints that were never truly yours. The recognition of these patterns creates the possibility for integration that honors both your traditional Capricorn strengths and the complementary qualities that complete your cosmic design. This fuller expression doesn't dilute your Capricorn essence, but reveals its magnificent maturity, the sophisticated both and capacity that defines your sign at its most evolved. If these revelations have illuminated aspects of your experience, we invite you to continue this exploration with us at Secret of the Zodiac. Subscribe to our channel to receive weekly insights that transcend conventional astrological interpretations and offer practical wisdom for navigating your unique journey. Our mission extends beyond entertainment to provide genuine illumination that transforms how you experience your cosmic design. Share which of these myths resonated most profoundly with your experience in the comments below. Your perspective creates valuable dialogue that enhances collective understanding of Capricorn's true depth. Right. Myth number 7 liberated me because, or share how recognition of any particular pattern has shifted your self-perception. These exchanges create community around shared insights that benefit everyone engaged in this exploration. If you found value in this revelation of Capricorn's hidden truths, please consider supporting our work through the Super Thanks feature. Your contribution directly enables our continued creation of daily content that transcends superficial astrology and offers genuine insight. The costs associated with producing quality content are significant, and your support makes possible our ongoing commitment to excellence in astrological education without compromise. This practical support translates directly into more frequent uploads and deeper explorations of the cosmic wisdom that informs our human experience. Like this video, to signal its value to the algorithm, allowing these insights to reach other Capricorns still constrained by limiting myths about their nature. Browse our extensive library of sign-specific content to discover revelations about how Capricorn energy interacts with other cosmic influences in your chart. Each video offers unique perspective that contributes to comprehensive understanding of your astrological design beyond simplified interpretations. The journey we've shared today represents only the beginning of what's possible when we transcend conventional understanding to access the profound truth of our cosmic inheritance. At Secret of the Zodiac, we remain committed to illuminating the path toward integration that honors both traditional wisdom and the expanded understanding that transforms limitation into liberation.